Hello fellas, Rusty coming at you. Today we're going to take a look at a pretty special knife, at least in my mind. We'll start off, give you a clue. It's got a Pocketeze shield. Any guesses? You guys might have seen it on the tank stamp. Robeson says Sure Edge. So we'll go over the knife, then we'll go over a little bit of the history on this particular one. And while I'm doing that, I'd like you guys to take a guess at the age of this knife. When was it made? So obviously it's a Canoe, and there's a model number, and it has what they're calling high polish steel. And I love this top swedge right here, so we'll be taking a peek at that. See if we can get it. Such a mirror, it's hard to view that. And interestingly enough, it doesn't quite have that same swedge on this side. The only branding on the blade says ATS 34, and I kind of hesitate to touch this blade because it's a fingerprint magnet. So check out the point. Love that. This would be a really good example of a spear point blade. Nickel silver bolsters, and what they're calling tan jigged bone. So we'll just pause on that for a second while we move over to the second blade, which is also mirror polished and is a pen blade, but that is a broad pen blade. Normally you don't see them like this unless it's on a sunfish or an elephant toe. Great fit and finish, absolutely smooth transitions, and zero gaps. Interestingly enough, this is running on one spring, so we'll get into that when we compare our other to other Canoes. Now this knife has a plunge grind, makes this knife look off center. Maybe you can see that right here, and what that will accommodate for, okay, no blade rub, that other blade. So let's get into this just real quick. I searched that model number and came across this. I'm going to put a picture in here, and this is Queen Cutlery Catalog from 1999, and it talks about the late 19th and early 20th centuries was the golden age of knife making. Queen, Shot & Morgan, and Robeson were key players in that great pursuit. So I'm not going to talk about all this. Like I said, we are going to take a picture. So if you want to, I want to talk about Queen Cutlery is transitioning to ATS 34 stainless steel in many of its pocket knives. ATS, it combines the pretty with performance. So we're going to talk about that, and we'll talk about this knife. And so that kind of gives you a hint. This knife was made in 1999 by Queen Cutlery. It's in their Sure Edge Pocketeze. They're calling it Yesterday's Classics, New Yet Old. Queen Cutlery is proud to resurrect this transitional series by Robeson Pocketeze Classics dating back to their inception in 1914. We got ATS blade steel, the 34, tan bold handles, Pocketeze shields that are pinned, mirror polish blades, razor sharp, and if we can get a look, it would have had a toothpick, what they're calling a Warncliffe, they're calling this a balloon, They're calling this one a pen blade. Here we have the Canoe, a 2-blade jack, and a whittler. So you can take a peek. So those were available from Queen in 1999. So it's tan bone, it has a pinned shield, which means it's not glued in there. It's hammered, just like these pins. The ATS 34 blade steel, and it comes razor sharp. And I would agree. If this is factory edge, I would agree with that. Active spring, decent walk and talk, and we'll leave this blade out, and we're going to compare it to a Rough Rider. This is, we'll get into it, $12 knife. And I think the reason I got this one out is this one reminds me of this one, or the other way around, because I definitely had this one first. Other than the pointy tip, which you get here, they are reminiscent of each other. This is a single spring, this is a double, and this one is $22.97, RR $22.97. It's missing this top swedge, which is a touch of class, which really reminds me of the Schott and Morgan knives. So it has and I keep on getting stuck. I'm not reviewing this knife, I'm reviewing this knife. So similar. This way, I guess I bring these out. I want to talk to you guys. These are pretty easy to find. These are a little harder to find. But my channel, I'm finding some harder to find knives, but I want you to know I found all these knives since between, I would say, May of 2024 and August of 2024. So all the knives on my channel are out there. You can find them or something similar. Another half stop. This is 440 steel, 440A, with a thick, shall we say, high pen blade. This one is thinner, got a thinner blade stock. Okay, I have what we're calling Easter egg. And an Easter egg is a knife that you probably won't find a lot of. So just appreciate this one for a second whilst I bring out this one, a Winchester Canoe. Now I'm going to have a video out for this. It may or may not be out at this time. This one's in Delrin, but this one has the same style of spear point. The model number on this, hopefully you can see it. I'm having trouble. We have that top swedge, which is a little bit easier to see. Would be advertised with high carbon stainless steel. Certainly not, well, ATS would be high carbon stainless steel. But going to blow your minds. You're going to want to check out the video on this. This is not a Queen cutlery knife, but they're totally very, very similar to me in blade shape and overall design. They're both single springs. And you can find these when you find a Winchester. You'll probably more likely find one in black Delrin. So we'll open this one up and we'll close this one, open this. I think we'll close this one, and you can see the fingerprint magnet. But those sure look like also brothers from another mother. So, okay guys, we'll go ahead and close this up for the day. Thanks for joining me. Have a great day. Stick around for those pictures if you want to read more about the history of these knives and see the catalog.